together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Freaking Friday. Happy Friday to you. Yep. Happy Friday. Hope you had a good week. I had a decent week. Getting stuff done. Other stuff. It's my wife's birthday in 3 days, so we're doing birthday stuff this weekend. Nothing huge. I think it's set up in time. I was busy. Okay. All right, there. Hi, Bastion. Here come the kitties. Here come the kitties. Like some kitty army. A kitty army couldn't keep me down. You gotta rip it up. Oh, I had kind of a sad thought this morning about all the different people that I have met in Alcoholics Anonymous and in the recovery field. It's a lot. It's a lot, man. Some people I can only see faces. I don't remember their names. Which kind of upsets me. It's one friend that they disappeared. I think they passed and I didn't know about it, and I feel kind of bad about it. Maybe I should do something about that today. Okay. I don't know. See, they were developing dementia. They're kind of out of my reach. But yeah, I've just, not that I don't love the people in my life, so please don't take it wrong. But yeah, I've met a lot of people in this program. A lot of them died sober. So, yeah, I've met a lot. I'll just put it that way. I'm sure thousands of people. I had a friend, speaking of which, Joe B. He used to say, I've seen so many people come in and out of this meeting that I could probably fill up Mile High Stadium. He's probably not wrong. I'm getting there. He'll get there one day. He sobered up pretty young, though. I think by the time he was my age, he had about 30-something years. So, Joe and Chet and everybody. Yeah. Well, and there used to be a lot more younger people in AA. Sissy Paw was really, really big when I was sober in the 90s. I mean, really big. I mean, you go to the Sissy Paw meeting. There's a speaker meeting on Saturday nights, standing room only. Go to Old Kent on Friday nights. We'd pile in cars, standing room only. In fact, what we would do is if you went to Old Kent, what you had to do is you had to meet at your club. Like we would meet at Primary Purpose. We'd all pile into as the least amount of cars that we could because there wasn't much parking. If you got to an AA meeting late, you're standing or sitting on the floor because we ran out of chairs. I digress, but I do kind of miss that AA. the camaraderie, the hugeness of it, right? Okay. All right. Well, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. You know what time it is? It is time for Dion's Daily Funnies. Let's get started on that. Check the chat on. Okay, see, chat isn't working. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to flip back and forth. See, when I started this the first time, it shut down on me, and that usually means that there's going to be a problem that day. That's usually my indicator. So if you are chatting and I am not saying anything to your chat, is because I didn't see it yet. So if this happens during Jeff Allen, I will be livid. I better not call that one though, huh? I better not call that one. So hi, Michelle. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, hi. You had just been Mr. Whiny. All right. So it is time for Dion's Daily Funnies. Amber's going to be a little upset that she's missing this. I told her. All right. Did you hear about the explosion at the cheese factory? There was nothing left but debris. How does NASA organize a party? Well, they plan it. They plan it. Okay, dude, I see you. Yes. Thank you for not using your nails this time. Did you hear about the did you hear the joke about paper? Never mind, it's terrible. Because the paper is terrible. Terrible. Yeah. Okay. What's orange and sounds like a parrot? A carrot. That was not bad. Yeah, out of all of them so far, I think that was the best one. The ones that are just duh are the funniest ones, I think. What did the blanket say when it fell off the bed? Oh shit! Oh shit! I've fallen and I can't get up. One more. Was it even more useful than the first? What was even more useful than the first telephone? The second telephone. Because he wouldn't be able to make another call, right? Just one phone in the whole world. Who's it going to call? It can't even call Ghostbusters. It can't even do that. So check chat there real quick. If you're trying to figure out what my shirt says, I'll go up a little bit more, and you'll be like, "Oh, that's Spider-Man," but I still don't know what that says up there. Miles. I do things. Miles Morales. I'm doing it wrong. Miles Morales. There we go. He is the alternate universe Spider-Man. He's awesome, man. He's awesome. They're getting ready to put a live action out about it. I think they're gonna do a good job. I'm looking forward to that. I think they made a good move with changing up some things with some of the superheroes because the whole point is anybody could be Spider-Man. The whole point is anybody can be Batman. It's kind of the point. Right. So, all right. I'm sure you guys care so much. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. I'm Dion. I'm your host. Today we're talking about true ambition. It is today's Daily Reflections. I just changed the name. This one's called Commitment. Is it? Yeah, Commitment. But led us to the 12 by 12, page 125, which is step 12. And really what we're talking about today is true ambition. So if you're here, please say hello, whether watching the live or the rewatch. I think the best way to do this one, put it over to chat, even though it's not working. Well, it might work for Facebook, but it's definitely not working for YouTube. It is your tube. You do what you want with it. It's my tube. My tube. You can't have my tube. No, it's your tube. YouTube. We're going to do the reflection first. Commitment. Understanding is the key to right principles, and attitude is the right action and right action is the key to good living. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 125. Is that your new place, Jack? Meh. He gave me a meh. That means fuck off. It does. It means fuck off. But the cat's like meh. Yeah, that's. He even gave me a dirty look. Or are you mad at me for kicking you in the butt? Well, don't knock over my stuff, and you won't get kicked in the butt. Yeah. All right. So let's redo that. Understanding is the key to right principles and attitudes, and right action is the key to good living. The good living. So sorry. Hold on. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 125. There came a time in my program of recovery when the third stanza of the Serenity Prayer, the wisdom to know the difference, became indelibly imprinted on my mind. In other words, it went beyond just memorizing the prayer. It is utilized as a way of life. That would be the difference. All right. From that time on, I had to face the ever-present knowledge that my every action, word, and thought was within or outside the principles of the program. All of it. All right. I could no longer hide behind self-rationalization. The alcoholic brain is really good at rationalizing what we're doing. Well, but it's for the better good. It might hurt a few people, but it's for the better good. Now, no, I had all sorts of self-rationalizations, right? Nor behind the insanity of my disease. Could no longer use the insanity of my disease. That'll come one day when when other people they'll start booting you out of their lives, man, because they just can't take. They love you, but they just can't take it anymore. Can you really blame them? I mean, they've run out of tolerance, patience. We've used it up, right? And we can't hide behind things. Hiding does us no good. You saw what happened when we utilized Dr. Hyde, right? So the only course open to me if I was to attain a joyous life for myself and subsequently for those that I love was one in which I imposed on myself an effort to commitment, discipline, and responsibility. So it says if I was to attain a joyous life for myself was one in which I imposed on myself an effort of commitment, discipline, and responsibility. Right? So their own commitment, their own discipline, their own responsibility. So that's mostly just about taking actions for what you're doing. You're going to mess up every now and again. I do. You know, some days I mess up a lot. Some days I hardly mess up at all. Some days I learn a lot. Some days I learn not much at all. But usually every day I learn something new. It may not even be in the program. Right. I learned on Monday that, or was it the Monday before that the unicorn is Ireland's animal. You know, each state has a state animal. Well, their country's animal is the unicorn, right? Yeah. So, all right. So now we're gonna go to the 12 by 12, and we're gonna go to page 124. We might go back a little bit actually. We are. We are going to go to page 122. Last full paragraph, if you would like to join us. So, if you're just joining us, the chat is not working on this side. I will have to go and check YouTube every now and again. Amber is here. Thrift store shopping, got distracted, but she found a big book there. Yeah, grab it. I like it when I find other big books in weird places and you open them up and there's all this writing and stuff in it. It could be pretty interesting what the person was going through and stuff. Hopefully their 4 steps not like crammed in there somewhere or something. That would suck. But good to see you, Amber. So just a heads up, if I don't reply to what you're saying on chat yet, it's just because I don't know yet. So practically every boy in the United States dreams of becoming our president. He wants to be his country's #1 man. As he gets older and sees the impossibility of this, he can smile good-naturedly at his childhood dream. In later life, he finds that real happiness is not to be found in just trying to be the #1 man or even the first raider in the heartbreaking struggle for money, romance, or self-importance. He learns that he can be content as long as he plays well with whatever cards life deals him. He's still ambitious, but not absurdly so, because he can now see and accept actual reality. He is willing to stay right size. Okay. That is for normal folk. And when we say normal folk, we mean non-alcoholics. Okay. That's what we mean. Right? And let's do this real quick. Let's look up the definition of ambition. We already pretty much know, but we got to look up a word, right? Definition of ambition. Oh, that rhymed. What's your definition of ambition? All right. A strong desire to do or achieve something, typically requiring determination and hard work. There it is. Ambition requires action, right? And the ambition in this case is going to be the 12 steps, the big book, principles of Alcoholics Anonymous, yada, yada, yada stuff. But not so with alcoholics. When AA was quite young, a number of eminent psychologists and doctors made an exhaustive study of a good-sized group of so-called problem drinkers. The doctors weren't trying to find out how different we were from one another. They sought to find whatever personality traits, if any, this group of alcoholics had in common. They finally came up with a conclusion that shocked AA members of that time. Oh, so they were so shocked. I was not shocked when I read this, but I was a little bit more informed, right? So these distinguished men had the nerve to say that most of the alcoholics under investigation were still childish, emotionally sensitive, and grandiose. And it hasn't changed. No. When I came into this program, all right, I was very, very sensitive. Yeah. Say the wrong thing to me, I'd run away crying. Say the wrong thing to me, I might go off on you. It wasn't okay. I had to learn a lot of things, but now I still think I'm kind of emotionally sensitive. I'll always be a Toys R Us kid. There'll always be a part of me that's a child. I don't know that that's going to go away. I don't really go for grandiose anymore. Not saying I don't like being the center of attention. I do, but I don't need to be the center of attention everywhere I go anymore. That's the difference. There's arenas for it, right? Goes on to say how we alcoholics did resent that verdict. Yeah, I resemble that remark. All right. So, gosh, how we did. Oh, see, even how They're like, how we alcoholics did resent that verdict. Well, gosh, that was awfully childish, emotionally sensitive, and grandiose of you. Because you got a resentment. We didn't listen to it. We got a resentment around it. There's your problem. There's one of the problems right there. You got paid for this study and you still got offended. We would not believe that our adult dreams were often truly childish, and considering the rough deal life had given us, we felt it perfectly natural that we were sensitive. As to our grandiose behavior, we insisted that we had been possessed by nothing but a high and legitimate ambition to win the battle of life. But we were using it incorrectly. Instead of trying to bring things into the fold, instead of going with the flow, we demanded. We told people what to do. We required things. Yeah. And listen to these excuses. We have been possessed of nothing but high legitimate ambition. That's all. It's just ambition. You don't like my ambition. No, that's not ambition. Well, actually, it is ambition. It's just not a good way to do it. Right? We all know the difference between a request and a demand. We do know that. And we know in our gut we're doing it too. But to do something about it, that's the hard part. Right? Admitting it. Right? Michelle says, childish, sensitive I was. Oh, she's talking in Yoda. there. Childish, sensitive I was. Yes. Yes. All right. In the years since, though, most of us have come to agree with these doctors. Yes, I agree with them. Let's throw undisciplined in there too, and defiant. Let's throw a couple more of those in there. All right. We have had a much keener look at ourselves and those about us. We have seen that we are prodded by unreasonable fears or anxieties into making life business of winning fame, money, and what we thought was leadership. Yeah. What we thought was leadership. Still see it a lot. Made a comment about it today. So people got angry about it. It's all right. Stuff happens. When it comes to like writing things out, I don't get to determine how you take it. That's why I prefer speaking things, because then you can hear my tone. Right? You can hear my tone. Anyway, doesn't matter anyway. By unreasonable fears, winning fame, we thought it was leadership. So false pride became the reverse side of that ruinous coin marked fear. We simply had to be number one. We simply had to be number one people to cover up our deep lying inferiorities. Man, that was a lot of hard words. a lot of big words in a row. All right. And that's what it is. I'm hiding something. Because if I'm pointing the finger over here with my right hand, you don't see what's going on with my left. Okay? It's a trick. Oh, it's tricksy. All right. What it came down to is, it was weird because sometimes I would try. So most of my job as sales, what was called agent relations. And my job was to recruit and hire salespeople and then train them. This cat very much wants attention right now. So he's getting it. Mike. Am I making you mad yet? All right. And people would think I made a lot of money. Yeah, people think I just made a ton of money. And it attracted certain types of women. And I would utilize that. I would blow it up into these big things. When really what it came down to is I was living on fucking hot pockets, man. So I couldn't let them get too close. I couldn't see them. All right. But people always thought I made a lot of money everywhere I went. No, and I was always broke. But it was because of this. My my false pride. We simply had to be number one. In fitful successes, we boasted of greater feats to be done. In defeat, we were bitter. Nothing better than a tall tale. All right. I love telling stories about me. All right. If we didn't have much of any worldly success, we became depressed and cowed. That would be me. Then people would see, then people said we were of the inferior type, but now we began to see ourselves as chip off the same old block. At heart, we had been abnormally fearful. It mattered little whether we had sat on the shores of life drinking ourselves into forgetfulness or plunged in recklessly and willfully beyond our depth and ability. The result was the same. All of us nearly perished in the sea of alcohol. So, what they're saying is it doesn't matter which route you go, destination is the same, which is the perilous sea that we end up in that is probably going to kill us. Right? That sea of alcoholism. But today, in well-mannered AAs, these distorted drives have been restored to something like their true purpose and direction. I love it. Well-matured AA. Okay. Maybe back then. Oh no, I'm seeing a lot of shenanigans. Anyway, that's also not AA though. So I guess it is well-matured. We're more. Let's not use well-matured. Let's do more matured. There we. I can go with that one because I don't know if I'm well-matured yet. All right. We no longer strive to dominate or rule those about us in order to gain self-importance. There we go. No, I need to brag. Bragging's the worst, man. And if you help somebody, okay, you're gonna get a gift when you help somebody, but it really depends on a few things. Number one, the intent. What was the intent? If the intent was to look good, that's what you're gonna get. That's the gift that you're going to look for. Whether you actually get it or not, I don't know. Really depends on some things. If your intent is just to help somebody, you're not going to feel the need to go tell other people about it. Maybe your sponsor, maybe a few closed mouth friends, but you don't need to help somebody and then go brag about it online. Because what's going to happen is you're going to receive a gift that's kind of false because the work was false. You get what you put out. Yeah. We no longer seek fame and honor in order to be praised. Huh. I don't need to point this out. You folks got brains. All right. When by devoted to service, family, friends, business, or community, we attract widespread affection and are sometimes singled out for posts of greater responsibility and trust. We try to be humbly grateful and exert ourselves more in the spirit of love and service. True leadership, we find, depends upon able example and not upon vain displays of power or glory. All right. It says here that sometimes you're singled out. I've been singled out for a few things. There are some that I don't talk about at all here. Some I talk about a little bit. But it is because it says it right here that it depends upon able example, not on vain glories of power. All right. Oh, I feel like I'm losing you guys here. All right. Still more wonderful is the feeling that we do not have to be specially distinguished among our fellows in order to be useful and profoundly happy. Yeah. I when it comes down to it, for the most part, I'm part of the crowd. I'm a cog in the wheel. Choo choo. All right. So we don't need to be specially distinguished among our fellows anymore. Yeah. Oh, some of you are expecting a podcast today. It needed to be rescheduled. There was a family emergency. So just to let you know. We'll get it done in a few weeks. We'll get it. It'll be done when God decides it's going to get done. That's what it comes down to, actually. That is all it comes down to. All right. Oh, not many of us can be leaders of prominence, nor do we wish to be. I want to be a leader, but I don't necessarily want to be a leader of prominence, and I'm not sure what that means. Prominence.
Prominence means being important or noticed.
Okay, it's what I thought it was. Prominence means being important, noticeable, or standing out. But it also has a specific meaning in topography, which is map making. Topography. I know that because it is a skill. It's a skill in Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, that's where I learned that. So we do not need to be leaders of prominence. I love being a leader. I think a lot of us lead, sure we do. But I don't need to win an award for it. It's not that I don't get recognition. I get plenty of compliments and recognition. So I don't really need it. So I can either go online and talk about it and get my recognition there, or I can let God take care of that part. I prefer to let God take care of that part. So service gladly rendered, obligations squarely met, troubles well accepted or solved with God's help. The knowledge that at home or in the world outside we are partners in a common effort, that the well understood fact that in God's sight all human beings are important. Oh, that's a hard one for me to accept. That all human beings are important, that there's a role for everybody. It took me a while. I'm still working on accepting that. Not everything happens quickly. All right. It's okay to recognize that you still have work to do. There's nothing wrong with that. The fact that I can even recognize it is a miracle of God in and of itself, anyway. Hey, thank you, God, for letting me recognize that stuff. I appreciate it because then I can change, right? So, the knowledge that at home and the world outside, we are partners in a common effort, right? A common effort to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. All human beings important. That proof that love freely given surely brings a full return. The certainty that we are no longer isolated and alone in self-constructed prisons. The surety that we need no longer be square pegs in round holes, but can fit and belong in God's scheme of things. These are the permanent and legitimate satisfactions of right living, for which no amount of popular circumstances, no heap of material possessions could possibly be substitutes. Yeah, you cannot substitute these things. Right? You know, when you go to order dinner or whatever at a restaurant, they're like, no substitutions. There again, pick. Right? That we get to love freely, that all people are important, that free love brings love in return, that we are partners in a common effort. We weren't allowed these things before, right? Now we found the legitimate satisfactions of right living. And these things are priceless. There is no amount of material things in the world that will bring you these same feelings, that will give you the same satisfactions. Nope. Right? Because material stuff is all fine and dandy. But when you have no friends, it's no good. None of your stuff is cool until other people think it's cool, man. Otherwise, it's just material crap. All right. Unless it's your big book. True ambition is not what we thought it was. True ambition is the deep desire to live usefully and walk humbly under the grace of God. Nice and simple. Nice and simple. Dun. All right. That's it. True ambition is the deep desire. It's a deep desire to live usefully. Yeah. These little studies of AA's 12-step now come to a close. We have been considering so many problems that it may appear that AA consists mainly of racking dilemmas and troubleshooting. It is. To a certain extent, that is true. I just did it. I'm like, yeah, I could improve in here and here. See? Doesn't need to be a big thing. I don't need to beat myself up on it. I don't even have to. I don't have to feel guilty or anything in order to be like, oh, yep, I could do a little bit better than that. Wow, good stuff. We have been talking about problems because we are a problem people who have found a way up and out and who wish to share our knowledge of that way with all who can use it. For it is only by accepting and solving our problems that we begin to get right with ourselves and the world about us, and with Him who presides over us all. Understanding is the key to right principles and attitudes, and right action is the key to good living. Therefore, the joy of good living is the theme of AA's 12th step. With each passing day of our lives, may every single one of us sense more deeply the inner meaning of AA's simple prayer. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out.